Welcome to Math with Miss Garrity. Today we're going to rewrite functions in vertex form when a is not equal to 1. So we are going to take a standard function and we are going to convert it to vertex form. The process is the same for the most part when we convert to vertex form when a equals 1. But if you'll notice in the vertex form, you've got this coefficient, leading coefficient on the outside of your x factor. So what I suggest is focus on these first two terms and take out this coefficient. Whatever's the coefficient of x squared is the factor that we're going to take out. Divide these first two terms by. And we would get x squared minus 12x. I'm going to leave a space here and then close the parentheses because this coefficient is only going to be in front of this first factor. I'm not touching the negative 9, so I'm going to leave that as negative 9. So now what we're going to do is we're going to complete this square because we want this term to be a perfect square trinomial. So the same process would be to take half of b and then square it. So we're going to be adding 36. But if you step back at this point, this is where it's different. If you look at the big picture, inside the parentheses we added a 36, but that 36 is being multiplied by negative 2. So we technically just added a negative 72 to this original equation. Now, to keep that value, to preserve the value of the original, we're not just going to walk up and add negative 72 to it. So I'm going to add 72 to balance it out. Then we keep our leading coefficient, we factor the perfect square trinomial, and then we combine, simplify the last two constants. And we're finished. And our vertex is 663. We can try another example if you'd like. Y equals the opposite of x squared plus 5x plus 10. So here we have a standard form of a quadratic function, and we would like to convert this to vertex form. So I'm going to look at my leading coefficient of the x squared term. I'm going to look at my a, and I'm going to factor out a from my first two terms. And I would be left with, when I take out a negative 1, I'm left with positive x squared minus 5x. And then I'm not going to take it out from 10. I'm going to leave 10 outside the parentheses and just add 10. My next step in the process is to complete this square. So I'm going to take half of 5, which is half of negative 5, which is negative 2.5. And then I'm going to square it, which would give me positive 6.25. Big picture, we're not just adding 6.25 to complete the square. We're actually subtracting 6.25. So since I subtracted 6.25 there, I'm going to add 6.25 on the outside of the parentheses, to keep it balanced. And there is our vertex form of the quadratic function. And the vertex of this specific parabola would be 2.5, 16.25. And there you go.